Rambling Ted here. I got a good response on a video I did about the painted bridge, and most of that response came from people who were reminiscing and talking about going out to the shuffle in which I'll get to in a little bit. Texarkana, about 5 miles south of here, I'm up under the Index Bridge right now at the Red River, is a town where people to this day still say there's nothing for young people to do. I can tell you that it's better now than it was in the 80s when I moved here. And we didn't have a lot of places to go as young people. And I'm talking, 18, 19, 20 years old. Didn't have a lot of places to go and party and stuff. So we found places. And I'm going to show you one of the places. This is the first place I'm going to stop. Right here under the Index Bridge, if you cross over. And it is grown up. You cannot get there anymore. But let me show you one of the places we used to hang out. So let's go back to the 80s. Put on your Whitesnake t-shirt, cut your hair into a business in the front, party in the back, mullet, grab you a cold drink, and come on with me. This is going to be kind of cool. All right, that's the Index Bridge that was right behind me just a minute ago, and it is basically Highway 71 going through north towards into Arkansas. Now that over there is Arkansas. This is Texas, but the cool thing was, this is the reason we could do this, and you can't get there. It is grown over. But you used to be able to pull down here with cars and stuff and go all the way over here by the water down there over to where this railroad bridge is. Now the neat thing is, because of the way the state line runs, we're in Texas right now. But there is a corner, and I'll see if I can put up a map in here. There's a corner over there underneath that railroad bridge, which is in Arkansas still, because it cuts over there. So the law kind of left you alone out here. They didn't really mess with you. They could see us over there, I'm sure. I mean, all this was clear. This wasn't grown up like this back then. This was all clear. And, oh man, look. Is that fireworks? I believe that is fireworks. Somebody had some fun under here. I'm sure people still come here. I don't know if kids still go out like they used to. And kids, you don't see people out anymore. Like I was talking about in one of my videos about the lake, and you never see people. But this is how we got down there, man. And it's grown up. You can't get there. Maybe in the fall I could actually go down there. But I'm not going through all that. Nope. But yeah, over there was a corner that was still in Arkansas, and we could go over there, and we would get us some drinks and head over there and party. I remember before the Lost Boys came out, I remember being stupid and hanging from that underside of that bridge. No trains went over us, I don't think. I can't remember for sure. But I'll tell you why I was stupid. One, I can't swim. I've swam well enough to save my life like 3 times in my life. So I know I can do it if I have to. One, I couldn't swim, and I wasn't wearing a life jacket of any sort. And 2, that river is dangerous. That river is known for just pulling people down and holding them in the mud at the bottom. Like, people go down in that river and don't come back up. It's a beautiful river. It's big and pretty fast moving. I've seen trees going along just stand up on end and spin around and go straight down into sinkholes. So not a place you want to hang out. But we did over there through all that grass and stuff underneath that bridge, and we would hang out there with the headlights of some cars shining down there so we could see, and put some music on and listen to some Bon Jovi or Dokken, and have a good old time. Do kids still do that? If you're a younger person, let me know. Yeah, let me know in the comments, man. Because I mean, when I put that video up and I mentioned where I was, and it's out at the end of the shuffle, man, people in my age group, which is the Gen X age group, responded with glee. They were very happy because, and they were like, "You've got to do a video about the shuffle." So I will. I didn't spend a lot of time on it. I came out here quite a bit. There are a couple places where I was known to stop. That's you can't see that. You're looking at me. Hang on a second. That pipe up there on top of that, that's the water. That's the water supply for a good portion of Texarkana right there. Comes from Millwood Lake, I believe, and then goes to the treatment plant. My buddy Rich Walker could tell you all about that. There's the moon up there. Kind of cool. Anyway, Not much to see here, but this is one of the spots where we used to come when I was 19, 20 years old, not drinking age. I can tell you for a fact that, without mentioning any last names, my friend Jerry, who we called the Banana Man because he had a yellow Nova that was all jacked up and it looked like a banana. We took the back seat out of that car, and then we'd stack cases of alcoholic beverage, beer mostly, on there, and then we would let's see, I'm out here by myself, I'm doing nothing, and this guy starts driving over here. He saw me, so he's got to come over here and ask me what I'm doing, because like it's his business, you know. Anyway, that's Texas. Anyway, we had this beer down there, and we had a blanket across the back of it, and I was sitting on the blanket, and we got pulled over, and man, I didn't have any ID with me, so that cop was like asking me all kinds of questions, and I'm sitting on top of this beer with a blanket over it, replacing the back seat. Quite an adventure. Anyway, I'm gonna head out of here. I'm gonna talk to this guy's gonna ask me what's going on, and I'll head out of here and head to the next spot, which will be the entrance to the Shuffle. Actually, I think this is a better road coming in and out here than it was in the 80s. I think it was dirt then. I don't know what the guy in that truck was doing back there. He just pulled up, had his windows tinted black, and then he just stopped, waiting for me to leave, I guess. People dump stuff down there all the time, and they do illicit substances and things down there. It's not a place you want to hang out. So probably the first time I've been down there since the 80s, when we used to go down there and drink. So all right, let's head to the next spot. All right, everybody who is talking to me about the Shuffle should recognize this road. Runs adjacent to 71, makes a sharp right. Woo! And ends up right here. Now I'm going to pull off right here. All right. This is the entrance to the well-known and illustrious Shuffle. And I don't know if you can see it. I'll see if I can get up here closer. This is a one-way tunnel underneath this railroad bridge. You have to be very careful. We would head out here at night and see whose cars were faster sometimes. Let's see if I can get in the shade and you can see it for sure. It even says the Shuffle. There you go. The Shuffle. Like I said, we would come out here. This road is for this area is windy. It's not windy compared to where I'm from. When I lived in Missouri, we had some windy mountain crazy roads out there, but it is pretty windy. It's got some curves, and I'll film a little bit on it. We didn't really stop on this road a whole lot back when I was coming out here. I know kids in the 90s were still doing this, but we would see how fast we could make it through these curves, and a lot of people ended up off in the field. As you can see, it's kind of a busy little road. It leads into a decent bit of farmland, and a lot of farmers have farms and stuff back here. But anyway, yeah, we'd see how fast we could make it down this road, and then it ends. Well, people argue about where it ends. To me, it ends when you hit Summerhill Road, but people say it continues on past the painted bridge there where I was, and there's a place out there that people used to go party to that I will show you. Not going to be a super long video unless I stretch it out, but it'll be pretty good. When my friend Phoebe, one night, I decided to show her the Shuffle, and we came out here, and when my headlights hit that bridge, she screamed, "It says the Shuffle," and hit me in the leg really hard. I'm not sure why. I guess she wasn't expecting there to be a sign. But anyway, let me drive down it. I'll show you a little bit, and like I said, you got to be careful. There's a lot of traffic, surprising amount of traffic on this little country road. And this is a one-way bridge, so you know you gotta be careful. It's a short distance, so you don't have to worry about too much. But anyway, let's head down the shuffle a little bit and give you a little bit of that, and I'll tell you a couple stories at a couple spots. Man, is it 80s enough for you yet? I should have got a mullet. I should have got my hair cut into a mullet. All right, we're at the intersection of, I call it Summerhill and Summerhill. It's kind of a strange thing. Summerhill Road comes down and turns, and I'll show you in a second, in a big old empty spot. And the reason I stopped here is because I have a distinct memory of being in this spot one night, late one night. I'll tell you about it. Right there is where you come off the shuffle, where that no truck sign is. If you keep going straight, that ends up in somebody's property. There's pecan orchards that you go by on the shuffle down there. Anyway, this road is Summerhill Road. And Summerhill Road continues on up that way. But it also makes a right and goes this way. And this is just a big empty field. I remember being out here, and I don't know how many cars were in this empty lot. But we were out here partying because you can see traffic, you can see headlights and stuff from a million miles away out here. And I think it was in the fall because it was cool. But I remember a guy in this intersection right here, right there, in a Mustang GT, probably an 84 model, 83, 84 model, just doing donuts. I mean, just making circles right there, man. He was boiling the tires off of his car. And there was another guy here in a Mustang, and it was a early 70s, late 60s Mustang that was hopped up, man. That thing ran, I mean, you could hear it. He had quite an engine in it. And he went out and raced somebody, and I remember we could hear, they drag raced probably down this way. But we could hear, I think they drag raced, they went down and turned around and came back. Anyway, we could hear when he got back that something was wrong, and that cold air had sucked in and bent valves in his engine, which he just got done building, so he wasn't real happy. As you can see in here, during the day, this is a pretty busy intersection in a pretty busy area. But at night, there's almost nobody out here, and especially in the 80s. This was further out of town in the 80s than it is now. And so this was a pretty good spot to come, because if you saw headlights coming at 3 in the morning, you could pretty much assume it was the police, and you could get out of here. They couldn't catch everybody, you know. Texarkana is a unique town, being it's situated on a state line. So that Highway 71 runs through town. It's called State Line Avenue, and literally is the state line. So if you're on one side of it, you're in Texas, the other side, Arkansas. Well, when I first moved here, if you were, being pursued, let's say, in the Texas side, you could just make a left, man, and cross the street over into Arkansas, and they couldn't follow you. And they changed that rule pretty quick. But anyway, we're not far from the Painted Bridge, and I'm going to go across it because there's one more place I want to stop at that a lot of people will remember. And it was also a place where going out to it, there was a pretty terrible tragedy. But they called it the Gate back then. And I don't know if kids still party out there or not. The farmer that owned the land out there was pretty cool, and didn't really, as long as you didn't cause a mess on his land out there, I guess he was kind of okay with it, because we never had any trouble. I think I went out there once. A friend of mine was talking to me, and they went out there a lot. But I think I went out there once or twice. After he reminded me of it, I could remember going out there. But it's been, 40. I moved here in 85. This would have been 86, so almost 40 years. Man, I'm getting old. Still good looking, though. All right. We'll go down here and take a look at this. Actually in Texas now, but if you look on the other side of that water, that's Arkansas. That is a creek, or I don't know what you'd call it, but anyway, it connects kind of to the Red River sometimes, especially if it floods. I think the Red River used to run there. I think the line actually follows the river, and the river has moved. The river changed course. Kind of interesting though. I may not get out down here because I believe this is all private property. But that gate ahead of us, that is what they called the gate, and that field right there has seen many, 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 many parties. Car looks like it's. Hopefully, if it broke down, somebody hit it. But yeah. That field, and if you go straight down through there, follow that gate straight, that's where there used to be a wooden bridge across that same slab that the painted bridge crosses now, and that's where there was an accident one night, and a young lady who was related to a friend of mine, sister, lost her life. So there's somebody in that car. There's someone in that car. I hope they're okay. Stopped and asked that guy back there if he was okay, and he indicated that he was, but I hope he really is. He's sitting in his car and he's pretty sweaty, and the car's dented up, so I'm not sure what could have happened, but maybe he's got somebody coming. But yeah, he was sitting right there right at the gate, which is kind of funny, or I would have gotten out and shot a little video there, but he didn't seem like he wanted to be disturbed. So anyway, I guess I'm going to sign it off here from my car. But that's a lot of people really wanted to see a video about the shuffle. It's kind of a Texarkana tradition. We also drove up and down state line a lot. Where I'm from, I grew up in Des Moines, Iowa, and I never got to experience it a whole lot before we left. But there was several blocks in each direction of one-way streets downtown, and we called it scooping the loop, and you basically circled these blocks over and over. But yeah, when I was coming out here, I drove a 66 Chevy Impala. It was a pretty cool car. I kind of miss it. I said my friend Jerry had that yellow Nova, and I will always remember getting pulled over by that police officer, and he was far more interested in the fact that I did not have an ID card on me than he was in I don't even remember. I mean, we took the back seat out, the bottom cushion, and it was completely full of beer, and we had a blanket over it. That's all I remember. And we were were squeezing pretty tight. You know what I mean? We were not. It's a good memory though. Fun times. We had pretty good times. There were bad times too, but we had good times, and we were probably extremely unsafe. But we made it through, most of us, and I'm glad I'm still here. A lot of worse things could have happened to me in my life than to be around. So anyway, hopefully it's a little bit more happy video. I mean, it was good times back then, man. I don't know what kids do for now. If you're a younger person watching my videos, put a comment, man. Let me know. What do you guys do? Do you guys still do the shuffle? Do you have a place in your town where you go? I know a lot of people in Europe watch my videos. So do you guys do something similar to this, or is this just an American thing? You know, I don't know. We have a strong car culture over here. So I'm gonna pull over for a minute. We have a pretty strong car culture. I was only going about 10 miles an hour, so don't freak out. We have a pretty powerful and strong car culture, and we used to anyway. It's not as big anymore. It's still there, but back then it was all hot rods and stuff, and dangerous cars with no brakes, and we were stupid. But I just wonder if other countries have something similar. I know hot rodding is everywhere. People make custom cars everywhere. But did you guys have like a place you cruised to, or places you went out by the lake to hang out with your friends and have a good time? It's interesting to me. I like to know this kind of thing. We did, and we had fun. But people still say there's nothing to do in Texarkana, and I know I don't see people out anymore. I know a lot of people, with the way the world is, are scared for their kids to go out, you know. And we were out to all hours. Of course, I was living here with my two brothers. I wasn't living with my parents, and I was an adult at this time. I was 19, 20 years old. But anyway, it was fun. It was good times, man. I had a Dokken Under Lock and Key cassette that got stolen at least 3 times. Everybody who listened to it would steal it from me. I don't know how many times I bought that. Anyway, I'm just reminiscing like an old man. But I will tell you that go out and have fun, man. Go out and do things. Be safe. Don't be stupid, but go out and have fun with your friends. I think kids today have it's just different. It's just different, man. We went out to meet girls. Now they just pick up their phone and look at an app. I don't understand it. I don't know. I'm glad I grew up in the time period I did, though, and I hope you all are too. And I know everybody thinks their adolescence was the best, and so maybe it really was. Maybe your adolescence was the best. You know. But anyway, it costs nothing to be nice. Be good to each other. Go do fun stuff with your friends, and even when you're old, it doesn't matter. You know, I'm still here. I'm getting close to 60, and I'm still here, and I'm still feeling pretty good. So I will see you in the next video. Y'all have a good day, week, year. I'm gonna skip over months. There's 12 of those. Good year though. A good life. Have a good life. I'll see y'all next time.